the last part of Albert Einstein at school. In this lesson so far, we have managed to reach the point where Albert Einstein has just met the doctor, and the doctor has given him the kind of certificate that he wanted. And he finally asks him, how much? It's nothing. I've just only stopped being a student myself, says our friend. He asks him, how much do I pay you? It's nothing. I just stopped being a student myself, he says. So I know how you feel. Here you are. Dr. Weil handed him the certificate and best of luck. And he wishes him best of luck. And then when he asks him how much, there comes a shock actually. And you know what the doctor said? Nothing. If you have anything to spare, invite Yuri to a meal. He's a good friend of mine and yours too, I think. So if you have anything to spare means if you have extra money after all your expenses, you can ask him to come for a treat and give him a treat for us. Albert had no money to spare, which means what? His money finances were pretty low and he had only money for essentials. But he pretended that he had extra money and took Yuri out to supper. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't this wonderful? He says, showing the certificate. He said after showing Yuri the certificate. Yes, it's fine, says Yuri. Yuri agreed. 6 months is a good period. After reading it, he says, oh yeah, you're getting 6 months of holiday. It's a good period. This way you won't actually be leaving the school. So if the worst comes to the worst, you'll be able to go back or come back to the school and carry on for your diploma and continue until you finish your course and finally get your certificate after writing the exam. I'll never go back to that place. He says, I don't like that place. I'm never going to go back. I'll never go back, he says, to the place. Albert assured him, I'm going to take this certificate to the head teacher tomorrow. So in order to add to what he has just said, he says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this letter, this reference letter, this leave letter or a medical certificate to the head teacher tomorrow, to the headmaster, and that will be the end of it. That will be the end of it. I'll show it, I'll give it to him. That's all, finished. I won't have anything to do with that school after that. I won't go back to that school again. But there is something that Yuri reminds him. He says, don't forget to get a reference in writing from your maths teacher first. So before you actually give the letter to the head teacher, first take a reference letter from your maths teacher, because after you leave the school you cannot probably get a reference letter from the head teacher. Yuri reminded him. Mr. Koch willingly gave Albert the reference he wanted. So the Mr. Koch, he gave on his own letter pad probably a letter telling telling whoever reads the letter that this boy is ready to go to college. If I say I can't teach you anymore, says the teacher. The teacher, Mr. Koch, is very different from the social science teacher, and the way Albert treats him is also very different. He says, probably there's a lot of affection between the two. If I say that I can't teach you anymore, he's very humble in front of Einstein. He says, if I say that I can't teach you anymore, which is I am not able to teach you anymore because I don't know so much as to teach you. And probably you will soon be able to teach me, and maybe soon you will be able to teach me. Will that be all right if I say like that? He asked. That's saying too much, sir, said Albert. It's only the truth. So even Albert, he is also being humble. He's saying that if you tell that, that will be saying too much. You're actually a teacher, and it's not right to say that. And the teacher says, even if it is true that I am your teacher, still what I say is absolutely true. It is only the truth. all the maths that I know is already something that you already know. But all right, okay, he says, if you don't want me to put it in that kind of a funny sentence, okay, let's say he's talking about the sentence and thinks that it is a very casual sentence. He says, I'll write it very formally. I'll put it more seriously. It was a glowing reference. So even though he put it very formally, it was full of praise. Okay, and Mr. Koch made the point. He also made sure that he wrote in that certificate that Albert was ready immediately. That Albert was ready to, at that moment itself, enter a college or institute for the study of higher mathematics. So if he has to learn higher mathematics, he is fully qualified to learn higher mathematics. That is a statement. Okay, I'm sorry you're leaving us, although you're wasting your time in my class. Actually, you're going away. You know, all of a sudden, out of the blue, he says, I'm sorry you're going away. Although it is wise for you to go away because there's nothing more to learn in this school, although you're wasting your time in my class, because whatever I'm teaching the other students you already know, he said. It's almost the only class where I'm not wasting time. And even in spite of that, Albert says, I'm willing to sit and listen to what you're teaching the other students. So if it is something that he likes, he doesn't mind listening to that class once more, and maybe even again after that, said Albert. But how did you know I'm leaving, sir? You said, I'm sorry you're leaving us. Now, how do you know that I'm going to leave? And immediately the teacher says, you wouldn't have asked me for the reference otherwise. Why did you ask me for the reference? When you asked me for the reference, it was quite clear to me that you are leaving. I thought you'd wonder. I thought the moment I ask you for a reference letter, you'll wonder why I need it. There's nothing to wonder about Einstein. I knew you were going to leave before you knew yourself. I knew that that you're going to leave before even you knew that you are going to leave. So before you took the decision to leave, I knew that you are going to leave the school. Albert was puzzled. What did the teacher mean? He didn't know how the teacher came to that conclusion. Soon he found out. Before he had a chance to ask for an interview with the head teacher, he was summoned to the head room. He was asked to come to the headmaster's room. Well, he says, it saves me the trouble of having to wait for an hour or two outside. Good thing that I am called by the headmaster, because if I am not called for the headmaster, by the headmaster, and if I want to go and meet the headmaster by myself, I will have to ask permission to enter the room, and probably the permission will be granted maybe 1 or 2 hours later only, he thought. He had hardly bothered to wonder, because he was getting an opportunity to meet the headmaster right away. He didn't want to think why he had been sent for, why he was called. But he had an instinctual feeling, vaguely supposed. This vaguely supposed means he had an instinctual feeling that he was to be punished again for bad work and laziness. So instinctually he felt that probably they are going to give him some more punishment for not being active, for being lazy, and for not doing all the homework and classwork that he is supposed to do. Well, he is finished with punishment. So he is now telling to himself, that's not going to happen to me hereafter. I am finished with punishments. Okay. I am not going to punish you. The teacher also says, the headmaster also says, I am not going to punish you, the head teacher said, to Albert's surprise. And Albert was very surprised. At that moment only he probably thought, then why did you call me? Your work is terrible, says the headmaster. Whatever you are doing, classwork or homework or studying for class, oral exam, everything, all the exams, everything is bad. And I am not prepared to have you here any longer. And I am not going to allow you to continue in the school any longer, Einstein. I want you to leave the school now. So he says, you can get out from the school now. Leave school now, repeated Albert, dazed. That is what I said, said the headmaster. You mean, said Albert, I am to be expelled? You are chucking me out of school. Are you going to? Is that the meaning of what you are saying? You can take it the way you wish. I just want you to get out. I don't mind what you think is the reason why I am supposed to leave. Okay, whether I am being expelled, all those things I don't care. I just want you to leave. That's all. The head teacher was not mincing words. Now, mincing words is making words that are very harsh sound less harsh, right? He was not reducing the intensity of the moment he is being expelled. Okay, so he wants him to realize that he is being expelled. The simplest thing would be for you to go of your own accord. Easiest thing is that you go saying that you want to go, right? That will be the easiest. Then the question won't arise. Then the question will not arise whether you are being sent out or you are going by yourself. But, said Albert, what crime have I committed? Now Albert says, why are you sending me? What mistake did I do? He thinks all mistakes are done by the teacher, and why is it that I am being punished? So that is his idea. Your presence in the classroom makes it impossible for the teacher to teach and for the other pupils to learn. So the mere fact that you are there in the classroom makes it impossible for the teacher becomes very tense and he is not able to teach. And the other pupils are also disturbed by your fighting with the teacher. You refuse to learn, you are not willing to learn. You don't want to learn. You say that I won't. When you say the word refuse, no, it is a very strong word. It means that you say that I won't do it. If the teacher asks you to do it, you are saying no, I won't. You are in constant rebellion. So not only does he have a different theory of what learning is supposed to be, he is also not learning according to their wish. You are in constant rebellion means you are always in a state of war with the teachers. You are always fighting against them, fighting against the teachers. And then that's when he explains a little more detail. And no serious work can be done while you are here. And when you are there inside the class, neither the teacher can teach nor the student can learn. No serious work can be done. It's not possible. Albert felt the medical certificate almost burning a hole in his pocket. You know, the medical certificate seems to be something that he wanted to show at this time to prove that no, it is not my mistake, it is a mistake of the teachers. So he felt as if it was eagerly, that he has to take it out. That feeling, no, that intense feeling that he should take it out right now is bringing out this sentence. Albert felt that the medical certificate almost burning a hole. It seemed to be getting hot, right? He felt that he has to take it out immediately. That's what it means. I was going to leave anyway. So whether you wanted me to leave or whether I am good in the class or bad in the class, it doesn't matter. I myself had decided that I should leave the school, he said. I was going to leave anyway, he said. There was, and then we are in agreement at least, Einstein. So immediately the teacher said, very good. At least I and you say one teacher, maybe the head teacher or any teacher, and you agree on certain things, because you disagree with all the teachers on everything. Then at least we are in agreement in this one thing. That means at least you also agree that you need to leave the school now. I also agree that you have to leave the school now, the head teacher said. For a moment, Albert was tempted to tell the man what he thought of him and of his school. For a moment, he thought he should stop there itself and say, no, stop, don't talk like that. I will tell you what is wrong. The school is no good. The school does not teach people how to learn. It does not teach anything properly. It has content that is totally wrong. Things that should not be taught in science are being taught in science. All that he wanted to tell. Then he stopped and then he controlled himself and didn't say what he wanted to say. Without another word, without speaking anything else, holding his head high, looking straight ahead with the chin up, he stalked out. He walked out angrily. Stalked out means walk out in an angry manner. "Shut the door after you," shouted the teacher. The head said, "Shut the door after you." He said, no, because he sees him walking out proudly, no. So it made him more upset. He thought he will be upset and he'll say, or probably he'll beg and say, "So, no sir, sorry sir, hereafter I will do everything correctly." He didn't do any of those things. He just walked out in a proud manner. And usually, if you are leaving a room, if it had been closed before you came in, you need to close it when you are leaving also. But this boy didn't listen to him. Albert ignored him. He walked straight on. He continued to walk straight. Out of the school where he had spent 5 miserable years, out of the school where he had been really tortured for the past 5 years, without turning his head, without even looking back to give a last look. He could not think of anyone he wanted to say goodbye. He could not think of anybody in the school whom he wanted to say goodbye. So he didn't turn and look. Indeed, Yuri was almost the only person in Munich he felt like seeing before he left the town. He had come to hate almost as much as the school. So even in the town itself, he didn't have any other friends except Yuri. That's what this sentence means. Yuri was almost the only person in Munich he felt like seeing. So probably he went and met Yuri. It was the only person he wanted to see before he left Munich. No other friends in Munich. Elsa was back in Berlin. At the time he was checked out of the school, Elsa, who was actually supposed to be in Berlin, went back to Berlin. She had only come to visit Albert Einstein here in Munich. And he had no other real friends. Other than these two, Yuri and Elsa, he had no other real friends. "Goodbye," says Yuri, "and good luck," said Yuri when he left. "You're going to a wonderful country, I think." He says, "You're going to Italy. I think it's a wonderful country. I hope you will be happier there. Maybe you will be happier in Munich." Saying that, he leaves. Okay, now let us look at this particular chapter at a glance. This is Albert Einstein at school, and in Albert Einstein at school, we are the main character, Albert, who lived and studied in Munich. And in Munich, he had 3 different parts can be shown there. He studied in a school, and that means the daytime he spent in that school, and then in the evening he came back home, that is his lodgings, and then they had problems connected with these other problems. In the school, he had a problem with the head teacher, he had a problem with Mr. Braun, and then there was a third teacher, Mr. Koch. So there are 3 teachers to be dealt with. The head teacher felt so depressed with him that he expelled him from school. Mr. Braun was a history teacher. He punished him to stay after school every day, 1 hour, because he did not want to learn the dates. And Mr. Koch, the mathematics teacher, was the most friendly of the lot, because he identified that Einstein had a gift for maths, for learning maths, and he says that soon Einstein will be able to teach him maths. That's the extent to which he has learned his maths. And connected with lodgings, you have 2 categories here. One is dealing with the noise and the violence, and the second is the lack of facilities. He didn't mind the lack of facilities in the slum, but he minded the noisy violence. That was the beating of the children and the beating of wife. That is the landlady. And among the other problems, he had the assumption that he is unable to learn. And the actual fact was he was not trying even to learn, which he shared with his cousin Elsa and with his friend Yuri. Elsa suggested that he could learn like a parrot, not very difficult. So the problem can be easily solved, and that he doesn't try. Yuri supported him, and he introduced him to Dr. Ernest Weil, who gives him the medical certificate. So this then is briefly what's happening here.